The Nether Hub. It's an older idea in Minecraft, right? It's something that's been around for a while, but it's started to get a lot of popularity recently, and for pretty good reason too. In Minecraft, it used to be, if you're going to come to the Nether, you come in, you get your resources, and then you go right back out. You don't want to stay in here for too long. It's weird and it's creepy and very, very dangerous. Uh, but now in Minecraft, there's all sorts of stuff that's been added to the Nether. I mean, just look at it. It's beautiful now. There's all sorts of new blocks and biomes and mobs. There's all sorts of things you can do in the Nether now. You can trade in the Nether. You can go mining in the Nether. You can even like build in the Nether now. People want to build in the Nether now. That's crazy. People didn't want to do that before. It wasn't practical, but people want to do it now, I guess. And so having a Nether hub is much less a luxury like it used to be, and is now more like something people actually want to have or need to have in order to actually successfully operate in the Nether. And so, for several reasons, mostly due to popular request, I have decided to make this video going over a couple different Nether hubs that I have made, and hopefully there's one among them that you like and will want to add to your Minecraft survival world. So yeah, hope you enjoy. I did spend a lot of time working on these, so I really hope you guys do enjoy them. So let's go ahead and get into them, shall we? Now we're going to start off with a very, very traditional Nether hub, okay? Now in older versions of Minecraft, your Nether hub might look kind of like this. It's a massive cleared out space. You got fancy walls and arches and stuff like that. You got a big giant Nether portal, clear pathways. It's very neat. It's got kind of this great hall vibe, kind of like this one here. They're very nice, They're very nice. They can look quite fancy, quite impressive, honestly. Uh, but they get a bit repetitive because they all kind of look like this. They all have this kind of great hall vibe. They have different color palettes and stuff, different themes to them, but they all start to merge together. And I figured you guys don't want to see, just a bunch of regular, carved out, caves and stuff with walls and trees and walkways in them. You want something different. So I've got a few. The rest of the Nether hubs in this video are all very unusual, but I figured I'd start with this one because it is a very traditional Nether hub, and in case you want to have something like this, might as well tell you how I did it. So first of all, just cleared out a massive space. I mean, a truly, truly massive space. This took a long time to clear out and build all these walls. The back wall is made out of nether brick, and I've got these blackstone archways in front of them. Blackstone is one of the new blocks in 1.16, and it's awesome. Most of the floor is built on a half slab. These upper raised sections over here on the end are all have pressure plates on them. That way, stuff can't spawn. If you build it on a half slab or have pressure plates, stuff can't spawn in here. All these trees are custom. Otherwise, the trees would grow like way too big for the room. So I had to actually custom make all these trees. And as for the ceiling, I kind of just went, kind of went crazy, going breaking blocks. Went down, came down, went back down, breaking blocks, going insane, and then came back down once again, breaking blocks. So yeah, it's pretty much it's just very just randomly popped out. Occasionally, I'll place a block and then break a couple more blocks. Basically, you're just randomly breaking and placing blocks along the ceiling. But overall, I think the ceiling looks pretty cool. Honestly, I think the ceiling is one of my favorite parts of this particular hub. Overall, the colors look pretty neat, I think. We've got our big nether portal at the end. So overall, this is a pretty simple hub. You could have all sorts of pathways leading down the individual arches. You could have, your trading over there, and then your the way to the nether fortress is over there, and then your mines are over there, or something like that. So this is a very traditional nether hub. This is what a lot of people at least used to build in Minecraft, and people still build it. There's nothing wrong with this. But I figured since we've got these new biomes, might as well add some more interesting and creative options as far as nether hubs go. So let's go ahead and get into the rest of those. Oh, and of course, before we go, I have to show you guys all the blocks that I use. So here's the blackstone, polished blackstone bricks, nether bricks, some netherrack. You can see all the stuff for yourself. So yeah, that's pretty much what all I used. Since we're doing one hub, per biome, I figured no better place to start than the warped forest, and so I've got that hub right here. So this is my warped forest nether hub. And as you can see, it's a very unusual design indeed. It's made almost entirely out of birch and warped wood. It's got this kind of birdcage design. I made this mostly because I wanted to show off this chain design. I don't know how many of you are familiar with British Minecraft YouTuber False Symmetry. But she's a member of the Hermitcraft server, which is a massive Minecraft survival multiplayer server. And she has an absolutely massive nether hub on that server, kind of like this cage design, uh, but it's suspended from the ceiling with these giant wooden chains that she made. And I thought, just as a design, these wooden chains look so cool that I just had to include them. Somehow into these nether hubs. So I added a little mini version, mini bird cage, uh, kind of hanging from the ceiling with these chains. And overall, I think this looks very, very cool. Not usual build, not traditional in any way whatsoever. But it connects, it connects to the rest of the forest with this little bridge. And normally you don't build with wood in the Nether because of ghasts and stuff. Ghasts throw fireballs and they catch things on fire, and there's just fire everywhere, and everything can catch on fire. But the thing about warped forests is that ghasts don't spawn in here. And so, you're actually okay to put your wooden builds in here. You're okay to have wood in here. Otherwise, gas would burn down the whole place. So why would they have gas spawning in here? So you can build with wood in here. And so that's what I decided to do. We've got this kind of basically what I did first. I made this birch frame out of stripped birch logs and also birch planks. Kind of made the frame, and then I built you know, the warped actual cage inside the frame. Kind of went crazy with these warped fences, adding structural support and stuff like that. You can see there's just how many I used on the inside. I used quite a bit. Plus, we've got these lanterns for lighting. Most of it is built on the half slab. Occasionally, we've got little blocks like this section right here, and most of this outer section, which is built on the whole block. Um, so I don't know if stuff is going to spawn in here. Probably will, just a little bit. But we've got lanterns in here just in case. Originally, this portal was much taller, and it just looked very off. So I cut it in half, size-wise, and I think it looks much better like this. So yeah, very interesting cage design, bird cage just looking sort of thing. So I hope you guys like this. I know it's a bit unusual, a bit unorthodox, but I still think it looks pretty cool. And naturally, here are the items that I used. You can see the warped planks, the stripped warped hyphae. We've got our birch wood, our oak planks for the floor in here, some stone to hook I guess, the chain into. Then we've got our warped fences and our soul lanterns, which add some nice decoration to the place. An unusual nether hub to be sure, kind of a small nether hub, uh, but a good nether hub nonetheless, I think. And since we did the warped forest first, we can do the crimson forest second. Now the crimson forest, like the warped forest, does not spawn ghasts, which means you can build with wood in here with no consequences. So that's exactly what I did. I've got this crimson stripped stem pagoda style building with a black stone roof, and also these bone blocks adding some detail and structural support. Now, a pagoda-style building is a type of building most commonly seen in like Japan and China. It's an older style of building from Asia, but it's got this kind of tiered look to it. So it's got a tier at the bottom, then like a sort of triangular roof that starts to slope inward before being cut off by another tier, and then another tier. Sometimes they just go straight up. Sometimes they're kind of they get smaller towards the top, like this one. But I thought a pagoda style would look really, really cool personally, because it looks kind of exotic. This looks like a very, very unusual exotic forest. The Crimson Forest does. So I figure, exotic build for an exotic location, and I think this looks rather good. So size-wise, this is you got 9 blocks on this side. Then we've got one little pillar right here, and then we got another 9 blocks. Second tier, we've got 7 blocks with one block pillar and another 7 blocks. Then top tier we have 5 blocks, one pillar, and then another 5 blocks all the way around. The roof is pretty simple too. It's just a mostly black stone, pyramid roof. It sort of sags down a little bit in the middle, mostly made just using, slabs and occasionally some stairs towards the top. And then I've got these corners, these edges lined out in quartz. We've also got these spruce fences adding some structural support, and overall, I think this just looks very, very nice, very clean. I love pagoda style structures. I just think they look so cool, and I think this block palette works really, really well. The inside is rather bright and cheery too. It still looks, kind of exotic, but it looks really nice, I think. So we've got these kind of fences, lining the top along with the gates to kind of add that structural support and to make it look like there's actual like floors up there. I mean, it's not accessible, but it kind of looks like it is. We've got the floors up there and the roof, the extended black stone inwards. The floor on this bottom here is a mixture of the stems. It's a mixture of the planks, the quartz slabs. We even got some trap doors with some shroom lights below them. And then of course our portal is right here in the center, nice and big, big prominent structure in the build. Here are the blocks that I used. As you can see, we got our trap doors, we got our spruce fences and gates, our slabs, our shroom lights, our bone blocks, all our black stone and crimson planks. It's all there in that chest. Overall, I gotta say, I really think this is one of my favorite builds that I made. I think this looks really cool. This is a very simple design. Uh, well, the simple idea, I guess, but overall, I think the design works really well. So yeah, hope you guys like this one. I'd say this is definitely one of the easier ones to build. This next one doesn't count as a biome, but I decided to include it anyways. Have you ever wondered if you could turn a nether fortress into a nether hub? I mean, probably not. That's kind of a ridiculous thing to wonder, but I did. I wondered if I could turn a nether fortress into a nether hub. Is it possible to, retrofit a nether fortress into a functioning nether hub? One of the rooms of the nether fortress at least, make it spawn proof, and then turn it into a place where you can put your portal and easily travel in and out of. Well, guys, yes, I can. So this is what I came up with. I mean, can you do it? Yes. Is it practical? Not in the slightest. But this is the room that I used. Normally, this is supposed to have like a little, lava thing in the middle, a little fountain or something. I don't know. But I decided to clear that out, and instead I've got these lava flows in each of the corners and our giant portal in the center. Well, not giant, it's pretty regular sized actually. But we got lava flows in the corners. We've also got these quartz pillars and also white stained glass panes, lining it. And it really adds some brightness into the build alongside the quartz in the floor. All of this is built on the half slab. That makes sure things actually can't spawn in here. Otherwise, we'd be filled with like wither skeletons and stuff. We've got these gates on the outside that helps prevent things from actually getting in. This is a block or a slab on top of a block, so you can't jump over it. See, the only way you can get in is through the gate. So that should help prevent things from spawning and getting in here. Like I said, this isn't exactly a very practical place to put your portal, place to turn into a nether hub, but I guess it is possible. Here are the stuff that I used, resources wise, this is the easiest, and build wise, in terms of difficulty, I also think this is the easiest. So technically this is the easiest hub to make on today's list, I think. We've got all these nether bricks. I don't think I actually used the chisel nether bricks, but I have them in here just in case you want to use them. I decided to use the quartz pillars and the white stained glass panes, here along detailing, just because it looked very bland, just as all nether bricks and nether brick slabs and stairs and stuff. This whole room looked very bland, and so I added some of these lanterns to add some light, added the lava flows, and then I also added the pillars just to give it a splash of color. And now the room looks striped. So yeah, is this practical? Not in the slightest, but can you do it? Sure. And I even put some archways out here to let make it feel nice and homey, lead you into, your actual room. And you got these stairs off to the side, which can take you out into the world, for you to explore. So yeah, Nether Fortress Hub. Is it practical? No. Should you do it? Again, probably no, but can you? Yes. This next one was actually very difficult for me to build, mostly because I've never really built anything like it before. And at first glance, it looks pretty, pretty abnormal. It's just a white looking cave. You back up a little bit, and it looks kind of like a funky igloo. We've even got, these, overhead pillars and stuff. We've got the tower over there of bone blocks. We've got over here, some more bone blocks over there. It's just, all in all, there's just a lot of bone blocks, and it looks very strange. But you don't really get the full picture until you look at it from above. So yeah, definitely one of the creepier hubs I could come up with. This was mostly inspired by the fact that there's a ton of these rib cages and stuff, especially in the Soul Sand Valley, which is where we are right now. I mean, they're all over the Nether, but Soul Sand Valley especially, there's a lot of them. And so I decided, these have to come from something. So what if there was a giant something that they could come from? So that's what I created. Now, like I said, this was very difficult for me to build because I've never built anything even remotely like this in Minecraft before. This hand especially was very difficult for me to make. Try to get the arm bones right, and then the hand bones is just, it was very, very difficult for me to, actually accomplish all of this. I went through many tries trying to get the hands right, and also, rebuilding the ribs to try and get them proportioned to the right size. And I even went through a couple different head designs to try to figure out how I wanted it, positioned, and what size I wanted it. All in all, I built and rebuilt this entire structure several different times just to make sure, I have the right proportions and size. But overall, I think it looks pretty solid. So in terms of blocks, this is actually one of the less resource heavy builds. I mean, there's a lot of bone blocks and also a lot of white concrete, but there's really not much else. There's some soul sand and some gravel and soul soil for terraforming. I added a couple magma blocks and light gray concrete to make it look like the bones have been, I guess burning off here and there, mostly towards the end, as you can see. But all in all, this was mostly just a process of building and rebuilding and making sure everything was in the right position and proportioned correctly. We've got these, shoulder joints over here. We got a big hand, like I said, sticking out. We've got another arm kind of going off in that direction. It kind of fell off into the lava pool. But yeah, so a very unusual build, but I think this would be an interesting place to put your portal, and you could definitely base your operations out of a giant skeleton. So kind of creepy, but you know what? So is the Nether. This last build for today was actually one of the first ideas I'd come up with when coming up with ideas for this video, but it took me a while to actually get around to it. And that's because we have to build in the basalt delta. Now, as you can see, the basalt delta, although this looks absolutely awesome with, basalt pillars and all these blackstone deposits and lava pools, this looks really cool, don't get me wrong, but to try and have to build in this would be absolutely terrible. There's no way you can make a building or a structure and it's going to look good. You're going to have to build all around these things. It's just going to look like a mess inside of this, all of this. So why would I figured why build a building in this when we can just generate more terrain. So that's kind of what I did. I've kind of built this very natural looking kind of basalt or blackstone, spire. It's kind of surrounded with basalt towards the bottom, which goes into the lava. And then the blackstone spire gets more and more narrow towards the top, and then eventually it starts to build back out again with these polished blackstone bricks and blocks and stuff. And I originally planned on placing it just a portal at the top, but I eventually realized if I'm gonna just place a portal at the top, it's gonna look a little strange. So I might as well just full Eye of Sauron on this thing and add some walls to make it look Lord of the Rings-esque. So that's kind of what we did. We've got this sort of Eye of Sauron looking, portal on top of a tower. And overall, I think this looks really cool from an angle. It was originally supposed to be like a Tower of Evil, but like I said, with these walls on the side, it looks very much like the Eye of Sauron from Lord of the Rings. So that's kind of what I decided to go for. Not that I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I've barely watched the movies or read the books or done anything. I'm just familiar with the character of Sauron. Now, one thing I did admittedly overlook was actually trying to, figure out how to connect up here to down there. Now, I mean, if you have elytra like me, it's no problem. But if you don't, then it is a problem. I originally planned on, having rope bridges connected to these various towers, but because this is a basalt delta and not one of the new forests, gas can spawn here, and the more or longer rope bridges you have, the more likely you are to get fireballed. So I've got this one small rope bridge connected to the nearest structure from the tower itself. It doesn't look great, but it'll do in a pinch. You could try actually building this out of stone. That would probably work a bit better. I just decided to go with wood because as a rope bridge, I feel like this looks a little bit better. But you can do whatever floats your boat. So yeah, my little Tower of Evil. Well, not so little. You could definitely go for rope bridges in between these, in between various towers. If you want an extra challenge or danger factor, I wouldn't recommend it. I would just go for the singular bridge, if you can. But yeah, so yeah, I hope you guys think this is cool. I'm sure some of you can do it way better than I can. Uh, but just for reference, here are all the blocks that I used. As you can see, lots of blackstone, all the blackstone blocks pretty much, as well as basalt, and plus some oak and spruce. For the rope bridge, plus a ladder to get up here and some lava to fill in the gaps down at the bottom. So that was my video on 6 different nether hubs that you can build in your survival world in Minecraft. Now I know that some of these might stretch the definition of what a nether hub is a bit thin, but just keep in mind, I know these aren't traditional nether hubs, but this isn't exactly a traditional nether either. I mean, come on, just look at this. This is not the nether we grew up with. This looks way cooler and way better. So maybe our definition of what a nether hub is should change too. Maybe as long as you got a portal and a way to get to where you need to go, then it's another hub. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I'm sorry it took almost 2 months to get this video out. Jesus, it's been 2 months since my last How To video. Can you believe it? What happened? Uh, so sorry about that, guys. I really am. If you did enjoy today's video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below. It's not a lot, but it is very much appreciated. I promise you. So yeah, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below what you guys want to see for other how-to videos. I might take a little bit of a break because I was starting to get a little bit overwhelmed in the middle of making this. I kind of lost a bit of motivation there. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Uh, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless. Uh, and please do leave requests. I love seeing what you guys want to see me build. Love seeing what you guys, what you need advice on in terms of building in Minecraft. I'm more than happy to help. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. It really is appreciated. I love you to death, and I will see you sometime soon. Goodbye.